Hi guys, welcome to Facebook Live. I'm your host Rose and
I'm your host Lauren.
And today we have our very special guest, Autumn. You may recognize her. We will get into a little bit more about Autumn in a minute, but first, let's talk about what we're going to talk about today. Today we're going to be talking about how to give back and why it matters, because we're heading into the giving season and now is the time of year to start thinking about how we can give back to our communities and volunteer and be charitable in all different ways, big and small. Before we get into that, however, Lauren, do you want to go over a couple of do's and don'ts for everyone viewing today?
Of course. So, guys, we definitely want you to like, comment, share, and engage with us today. We want this to be an open conversation because I think one of our goals today is to inspire each other to give back, share how we give back, and help us all help each other. So we really want to hear from you guys with ideas of how to give back and, some good tips, how it makes you feel. Whatever you have on your mind, please share it in the comments. But if you have any questions about your program or anything personal to you where you would need to give your student number or phone number, anything personal, save that from the comments section. Send us a message on Facebook or call Student Services at 1-888-427-1000 instead. If you're not a Penn Foster student yet, but are thinking about becoming one, you can call admissions at 1-888-427-6500, and we'd be happy to talk to you over the phone for whatever you need. And definitely make sure to follow us on all of our social media channels too, and continue the conversation today and after today, those ways.
Yep, especially during the giving season, there's going to be a lot of really feel-good things on there. You can see students, our grads doing really fun stuff, and also us. Every once in a while, we show up on our social media pages, not just on Facebook Live, but you can check out and see the good ways that we give back. And as we get into that conversation, Autumn, who is the give back queen, Autumn has a big heart, and a lot of you probably know and recognize Autumn from other Facebook Lives. Autumn, do you want to introduce yourself and say a little bit about you?
Hi, guys. Like Rose said, I've been on a few Facebook Lives before. I'm Autumn. You might see me in the community as the community manager, and I run our ambassador program too and really highlight the amazing things that our students and grads are doing. So thanks again for having me, Lauren and Rose.
And you also keep track of a lot of student stories and showcase a lot of our students and grads.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
On a very cool, very personal level where it's not just about good grades, but it's about, people's individual stories. So Autumn does some really cool, interesting stuff for you guys.
She also, as Rose said, is a volunteer queen. She leads a lot of our volunteer efforts at Penn Foster and in the Scranton, Pennsylvania community. She's very involved. So she's the perfect person to lead us in this discussion today.
Thanks, guys.
So Autumn, what are a few quick ways that you've given back recently?
So actually, I am planning a giving back volunteer day for Penn Foster employees. So we're going to, locally, there's a program that gives groceries to families in need during Thanksgiving that allows them to cook a Thanksgiving meal at home. So we're hoping to volunteer with that, a few employees, safely, distantly, and still give back while we can during this season.
All right. Well, we are going to help you with that because it's exciting and it's a fun thing that Penn Foster does every year. This year is going to be a little bit different. I think we're all looking forward to it. But I've also helped get out the vote this year, so I'm feeling pretty excited about that.
That's great, Rose.
That's a good one, Rose.
How about you, Lauren?
I know since, especially the Scranton, Pennsylvania area, and I'm sure so many people are in need of food, I've donated to some canned food drives locally and then tried to donate to some families who I knew were in need, recently rehomed or had some kind of bad economic situation happen due to the pandemic. So I think, like you guys have said, it's definitely the time of year where people are in need. There's a lot going on in this world with the virus and just everything else in 2020. And people really need each other to help and support them. So we can all lend a hand in that.
Yeah, and I think a really big part of that is that doing good and helping doesn't necessarily need to be a big deal. It doesn't have to feel like a big heavy weight on your shoulders, like I should be doing this. Little things really matter and they really build up. And I love what you said about like we really do all need each other. We do. We all need each other for sure. And sometimes in really small ways that pay off big time for each other. Autumn. Yeah. So as we get into our conversation, what is giving back to you? What does that mean to you? And what are
Rose, I think you kind of touched on what my definition is. It doesn't have to be a huge grand gesture or giving a lot of money or anything that takes up too much of your time. But it can just be these little micro giving back things, whether it's helping a neighbor or a friend, or like Lauren said, giving if you have the chance to do so and are able to comfortably. But even a small donation goes a long way. If your company is donating to an organization and you don't think your dollar matters, it definitely does. So little things like that. And then anything in your community. I know there's a lot of things in our area that always are looking for help, especially around the holidays and this time of year, but really all year long, soup kitchens, any food donation drives, things like that. But it doesn't have to be a heavy lift always. It's just something that makes you feel good and you're making an impact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even a couple times a year, right? Like Thanksgiving, I think, is all a nice time for us. And this is the giving season. So it's a really good time to be thinking about just little ways, just bringing a couple of, boxes of pasta to your local food drive or whatever. Like you said, like your dollar does count, like a little does go a long way. It's just as everyone does a little bit, it really makes a huge contribution.
Yeah. So speaking of that contribution, because I know sometimes it could, like you guys have been saying, it feels like, what am I really doing when you can only give a little? But why is giving back important? Why should you give back?
Yeah. So I think it really comes down to how you feel when you give back. I don't know about you guys, but I feel amazing when I give back and feel like I'm making an impact and a difference, but also knowing that you're impacting your community, that you're doing something good, but not even just that you feel good, that you're making others feel good. And I think that that's really the most important part. It's great that you're feeling good about yourself and that your little donation or your contribution has helped in some way, but you're really making an impact to a larger audience or a larger group in need. So no matter what you do or what you want to do, if you think it's too small, it's never too small. Anything's better than nothing.
It's funny that you say the part about feeling good about giving back, because it doesn't necessarily make sense how good it feels. Like no matter what, you could be in a bad mood and you help somebody and you kind of channel that charitable nature, and it is completely mood changing, and it makes you feel a little bit better about yourself and a little bit more confident. And there's something about, I don't even know what that phenomenon is that makes you feel so like refreshed as a person when you help another person. But it's real, and it's something that, is a really easy way and a really helpful way to even just gain your own confidence. And of course, it's not, people like to think about giving back as not about yourself, but there's still benefits for you to give back to others, which is, it's just interesting how good it feels. Like it's just like, right, guys?
Yes. And I think part of that too is that good feeling is infectious. So part of it too is when you give back, it inspires other people to give back. Even that day that Autumn mentioned where we're going at Penn Foster to help hand out bags of food to families in need. We're doing it with friends and we're doing it with each other. And it's going to be a fun day actually for us, because we'll all be in it together and hanging out and feeling good. So when you give back, even if it's just a couple hours of your time or you think you're doing something small, when you're inspiring your friends to do it with you or inspiring others when you post about it on social media to do the same thing, then those little good deeds, if you think about it as something small, do add up into really big, impactful changes.
Definitely. Yeah.
I think too, like having an impact on your community, but also feeling good while doing it. Like what Lauren said, the day that we were talking about, we did last year too. And I remember last year there were long volunteer lines. It was raining, and everyone was waiting, but everyone was so happy and smiling and didn't mind that they were waiting in the cold or the rain to carry groceries to people's cars, because it's such an infectious feeling, and everyone was so grateful that so many people in the community were helping. It's just really great to do.
Yeah, it's joyous all around.
Yeah.
You know, it's the best feeling. And the other thing about, you know, if you do any kind of formal volunteer work, like we're doing family to family, which is a little bit more formal, it's associated with an organization. You can, if you gain skills through volunteer work, that is something that you can put on a resume. People like to see, or employers do like to see, what kind of extracurricular activities that you're up to that have helped you become a more well-rounded person. So it's funny, you're giving to others and you're getting it back. You're getting rewards. It all comes full circle. So it really is a good thing to sneak in every now and again.
I want to talk a little bit about that, Rose, about using skills. So I think not only like do you get skills as volunteering that you can put on your resume, but actually another thing that feels good is when you're using the skills that you've learned in your education to then give back, because it goes to you're putting what you're learning into practice. And I think that feels good too. So Autumn, do you have any tips on how you can use your Penn Foster education or the skills that you're learning at Penn Foster to give back?
Yeah, definitely. So I think it's important to recognize too that you have an experience at Penn Foster and that you're learning skills that people maybe wish they were learning and that they can use to help others. So then taking those skills to affect change in your neighborhood or on a small or local level. Like if you're in the vet tech program, maybe you can volunteer to help groom your neighbors, or even the groom your neighbor's pets, or work with them to care for their pets, or even at a local animal shelter. Even if you're maybe in the healthcare field, you can volunteer at a free clinic, and that can help you gain experience, hands-on experience that you're learning in your class, but also making change in your community. Beyond that, if someone you know is maybe starting a business, you can put your marketing skills that you're learning at Penn Foster to use, help them build a social media following, help them build out a website, whatever it may be that they need.
A nonprofit.
Yeah.
Like, you know, a lot of like little nonprofit groups will pop up in your town that maybe are just for your community. And a lot of those groups don't have any money to start. So if you do have any kind of if you're using your Penn Foster marketing or any business skills that you can help a nonprofit take off the ground, and then think about how many rewards come back by helping a group that's whole mission is to help others, you know, just by getting them on their feet. So that is another really good one.
And there's other organizations you can work with. Like if you're in the skilled trades and you want to maybe help build some infrastructure within your neighborhood. Habitat for Humanity is on in many states, or even like early childhood education. You can help teach or maybe tutor virtually, help parents as they're transitioning to this virtual learning, and really help ease some of those burdens that the parents may be feeling. But even if with skills that you already have that you're putting into practice at your job, we talked to an alumni, Jessica Carter, who actually made over 400 masks for her clinical team and other local area veterinarian clinics. Wow. So it can be as simple as using something like that to using your time and your skills to then make change at your organization.
That is really, really interesting.
Yeah, she did really masks. Work. Yeah, that's a lot of masks.
That's a lot of time. That's so great. Good for her. I think we did have a previous grad of the year, Kevin, and he did some volunteer work for his local church. He had rebuilt the inside of the church with his, he had tons of different Penn Foster different certificates and diplomas, but he did a lot of background in carpentry. So he did great work in his community with that, with carpentry and those skills that he picked up at Penn Foster.
Yeah, that's awesome. Autumn, I liked what you said before about helping maybe parents of students get their child used to online learning or helping people with online learning. I think with the pandemic, if people are afraid to interact with others personally, physically, finding ways to be a virtual volunteer is something that I think is needed now, and a way that you can still use your skills and your will to volunteer despite the pandemic and still make a difference. So looking out for those opportunities is a great idea.
Yeah, there's ways to help virtually, or even social distance while you're helping out. There's a lot of organizations trying to find out how they're going to continue up their charitable giving and volunteering efforts while in a pandemic. So definitely taking on those opportunities is great as well.
Yeah.
So
the fun part is we just launched a contest that we have every year to acknowledge you guys for the giving back that you're doing. So we'll be highlighting a lot of stories through this. And then for a winner, there will be a $250 Amazon gift card prize awarded. But it is this year's Penn Foster Helping Hands Award. Autumn, do you want to talk a little bit about what it is and how you can enter and all the details?
Yes, definitely. So the Penn Foster Helping Hands Award, we really are just looking for anyone that helps in really any sort of way, big or small, in your community. So the award started a few years ago and has since changed to the Helping Hands Award, but it was inspired by a graduate who passed away from brain cancer, Deborah Spencer, and she was an ambassador as well. And she was really big on charitable giving and volunteering. She was amazing and used a lot of her computer skills to provide free services for those in need that didn't have the funds to repair computers and so on. So we were inspired by her and started up the award, and we love seeing all of the submissions that come in, big or small. You're making an impact, and we love seeing you put your skills that you're learning at Penn Foster to work in the real world in a charitable way. So we've seen a lot of great submissions come in so far, so I'm excited to see them keep rolling in.
Definitely. And if you're looking for how to enter, if you are a student or a graduate, you should have received an email with all of the rules and the form to enter. So check your email for that, or we have posted the link on our Twitter and Facebook pages. So you can just scroll down a little bit to find the link and submit your story and how you give back.
And we can't wait to see your story.
Yes. And we'll be announcing the winner on Giving Tuesday. Appropriate.
Yeah, that's perfect. Perfect time of year, which is that's December 1st, right? This year? Yeah. So
no, I'm second guessing myself. I think so, yes. But the deadline for submissions for this award is November 24th at midnight Eastern time. So make sure you get in your submission before then.
And you have some time. Just when you fill out your submission, if you really want to win, just give us a little bit of background in your story. Really paint us a picture so we can see, so we can really get to know you a little bit better. That way maybe we could showcase you on social, and we could get your story out there, because everybody deserves some credit for when they're doing really good things. And don't psych yourself out that you feel like you don't do enough good things. Really sit and focus about sit down and focus on your year and what you've done this year. And you would be surprised at how much you have helped. I mean, kindness goes a long way. So please, please submit your story. Just tell us who you are and, everything about you that is about giving back. And we will just be so happy to get to know you. And then you could also win a $250 gift card, which isn't so bad, and an award, which is pretty awesome.
And the details are important in your submission, but also the photo. We want to see really great pictures of you guys volunteering at work or giving back in your community. So send those along. We've seen some really great ones with people volunteering at animal shelters and at churches, and really, really impactful and motivating stuff.
I guess I should say, when I said paint a picture, you don't have to submit a painting. I meant paint us a picture with your words.
I would love to see a painting now that you bring it up, Rose.
Yeah, but if you do submit a painting, that's cool too.
Yeah, that is really cool, actually. If you could do that. Your portrait. I just wanted to be clear there because, yes, submission and a photo, you don't actually have to paint any pictures. But if you do, we would love it.
So for people who don't volunteer regularly, where they already have something going on, what are some tips for safe ways that people can volunteer this year?
So I would say Google would probably be a great place to start because there is, I'll have to have Lauren or Rose drop the link in there. There's a virtual volunteering site. So there's some really great stuff on there of things you can do. Other than that, if you want to use your skills, like we mentioned, in any way virtually, or if you want to hold like a little virtual Facebook Live on how to do like a dog obedience training at home, something like that from one of our programs. That would be something great to do. But also, if you have any time during this holiday season, if there's any food banks near you, they're definitely in need of volunteers, and they're more than likely doing it in a safe, socially distanced way. So reach out to them and reach out to any other organizations that you feel you'd be a good match for and that you're inspired with. And if you have an extra dollar from a paycheck that you think you might not want to spend on a coffee this week, donate it to an organization that means a lot to you that you want to help out.
Very good advice.
Yes.
That I will definitely follow. Because this is a really warm and fuzzy season. You know, it's like the days get shorter and everything gets a little bit cozier. And there is something about just giving back and all of that. The magic that's in the air makes it feel, I don't know, it makes us all feel a little bit more connected this time of year, I think. So
yes,
it is.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's a really good time to really focus on this.
It's a nice warm and fuzzy feeling.
Mm-hmm. And you do good and good things happen to you. So it all comes full circle and there's a lot to celebrate. And I think also kindness goes a long way.
It does.
Just kindness is its own charity. Just being a little bit patient is its own volunteer work. It's hard sometimes to keep a level head, but just being kind will change your community. It is contagious. The good kind of contagious.
True. That's the kind we want this year.
Right.
If I could make a recommendation for safe volunteering, a lot of nursing homes or senior living centers have been kind of closed off because of the pandemic, and there are a lot of seniors that can't see their families. So writing people letters or sending them something nice could be a really great way to make those people feel loved and special, even though they can't physically be with their loved ones.
That's
a great
idea.
suggestion.
All right, guys.
Well, suggestions?
Huh?
It's your turn. Do you have any suggestions?
Oh, you wanted to hear my suggestions?
Yeah.
Well, I think also the pandemic, I'm an animal lover. So if you can go to your local animal shelter and walk a dog or help transport, cats and dogs around the country to get to new owners, especially around the holidays, that would be my suggestion.
That's a good suggestion.
That's a good one too.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today. We will see you next time, and go out into the world and give back and be kind and all of that wonderful stuff. You'll feel great about it.
Yes.
All right. And don't forget to submit for the Helping Hands Award.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.